In this video, you will see how to discover and reuse APIs and listeners you've already built in your Celigo account, so you can deliver new integrations faster and reduce operational risk across teams. Imagine you are the API developer at Acme Chocolatiers, a fast-growing confectionery brand. You're taking a modular, API-led approach instead of rebuilding logic everywhere. You compose new solutions from proven building blocks. For example, you already have an API that creates an order in Shopify and sends a Slack notification. To make those alerts truly useful for sales and support, you want to enrich them with customer context that lives in Salesforce and Snowflake. Instead of building the API from scratch, you can just reuse the Customer 360 API already created in your account. Here's the API which accepts the customer name as a query parameter and returns a consolidated customer data as response. To reuse this API, you need a Celigo API's connection with either a full access scope or a custom scope that includes the APIs and listeners you want to invoke. Now, while adding the step, select the Celigo API's application select the connection, and then you'll be able to invoke the API using this option. Based on the connection selected, the APIs that are in scope of the connection will be shown here. Select the Customer 360 API and enter the value of the query parameter. Preview the data and save the changes. Add the results from the lookup to the source record. Copy the curl command and invoke the API from an external tool like Postman, using the Celigo API token for authentication. As you can see, the customer details are successfully fetched using the Customer 360 API and sent as a Slack notification along with the order details. Next, consider fulfillment. You already have an API that takes an order ID and adds a Trello task for the operations team. You can reuse this API in your flow via the Celigo API's connection. Select the first option and then the endpoint. Pass the path parameter and then map the relevant fields in mapping. If you invoke the listener from Postman, you can see the new Trello task gets added to the to-do list. Finally, you can orchestrate all of this by invoking the listener from the Create Order API. This time, select the second option, send data to a listener in another flow. Map the fields that need to be sent to the listener. And that's it. You can now invoke the API from Postman. As you can see, the listener was successfully invoked and the customer 360 data is used to enrich the details added in the Trello task. Lastly, this connector also gives you the flexibility to invoke the Celigo standard APIs. You just need to select a Celigo API's connection with full access and then select this option here to invoke these APIs.